President Biden to forgive up to $20K of student loans for individuals making $120K or less. Debt. You've probably heard this term 1,000 times, and you may even start to hear this term mentioned in conversations when individuals are talking about their student loans. Each year, millions of students seek financial assistance in the form of student loans in order to cover the costs of their college education. The ever-increasing cost of attending college has led to an increase in the number of students with significant amounts of outstanding debt right after graduation. Like most forms of debt, you're told that you must be responsible and make your monthly payments. But just recently, President Joe Biden has revealed that he will pay off up to $20,000 of your outstanding student loans in an effort to ease the financial burden on middle and working-class families as they begin preparing to resume repayment of federal student loans. Even if this seems to have a lot of potentials, there are still a lot of factors to consider. What does this program entail? In what ways will the administration be able to pull this off? How much money will this end up costing the nation? Would this really be of assistance to families from the working class and the middle class, as it claims it's supposed to? Hello, welcome back to another video of Finance Sense, where we cover all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. But before we get on to the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to this channel to stay up to date with our videos. Now, without further ado, let's start. First, let's talk about who qualifies for this program. So it was said that those who attended college, received a Pell Grant, and did not pay off their student loans yet are the first ones who will reap the benefits of this program. To be more specific, you may qualify for a $20,000 student debt repayment if you satisfy the following criteria. You attended college, have outstanding student loan debts, received a Pell Grant, and make less than $125,000, or both you and your spouse earn less than $250,000. Meanwhile, you are eligible for a $10,000 student debt repayment if you meet some of the requirements but did not receive any Pell Grants. However, the downside of this program is that you may not be able to qualify if your income is higher than the cutoff point mentioned before, regardless if you have or have not yet settled your student loans. On the bright side, you have until 2023 to repay your student loans. This grace period will remain in effect until the end of 2022 on December 31. Therefore, interest on student loans will be waived until the year 2022. Additionally, one important thing to consider about this program is that the forgiven student loan money is not regarded as taxable income, which is a significant difference from the norm when someone settles your student loans. Now, let's move on to the actual cost this program shall incur. Approximately 43 million college graduates will benefit from this program, and the estimated cost is about $300 billion. This plan will help graduates somehow, and nearly 20 million Americans will have all their student loans forgiven. After this program was announced, the public had mixed feelings about it. Some people are not pleased because this assistance is not enough, while some were upset, saying that they had to work hard to pay their way and not take out student loans, while others get to receive financial handouts from the government. One of which is Chuck Schumer, who stated that this program is insufficient and that the government should step up and do more, including at least paying $50,000 worth of student loans per person. Just a quick question before we go on to the next segment of the video. What do you guys think of President Biden's idea to forgive student loans? Are you in favor of it or opposed to it? If you have anything you would like to share, please let us know in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. And with that, let's go back to the video itself. And while it seems like I've covered the important things associated with President Biden's program, there are actually 3 layers of costs related to the student loan forgiveness, one of which is moral cost. While some are financially intelligent and disciplined and made sacrifices to pay their student loan, some are not smart with their finances while engaging in leisure activities. Therefore, it is a major morale discouragement for them to receive $10,000 or $20,000 from the government simply because they have not paid off their student loans. Another cost pertaining to this program is related to the cost of our national debt, as the government lacks the $300 billion necessary to cover the cost of the program. Generally, the government has to generate the money required to fund this program. However, the U.S. still has a staggering fiscal deficit and approximately $31 trillion in national debt. So someone else has to shoulder the cost. Keep in mind that the government never sells anything to generate income. Consequently, the government will have to take some of the following measures. 1. If the government does not have enough money, they will have no choice but to increase taxes in order to generate revenue. 2. The government may also stop providing you the benefits you are currently enjoying. They may also reduce spending on the military and Social Security as well as welfare. In the event that these strategies are unsuccessful, they will have no choice but to implement the third and last alternative, which is 3. To figure out how to print the money. And there is a cost associated with printing money, and that cost is inflation. Because of the government spending and money printing over the past 2.5 years, we're already bearing the consequences of it. The Federal Reserve Bank printed trillions of dollars, distributing them to our economy, causing inflation, a decline in the purchasing power of the currency, which raises the cost of goods. The Federal Reserve Bank currently claims that combating inflation is one of its top priorities. President Biden and his administration have stated that they want inflation to decrease, which is why they are increasing interest rates. However, spending money you do not have leads to inflation. The third and final cost leans more toward universities because there have been a lot of concerns about what would happen if they factor in the future repayments of student loan debts when setting their tuition prices. Since the government created a law that guaranteed student loans for everyone a few decades ago, university tuition fees have skyrocketed. In the 70s, it was challenging to obtain a student loan, community colleges were far less expensive, and many people did not hold college degrees. Then, there came this initiative to give everyone the opportunity to get the education they needed. So the government established a program to assist everyone in obtaining a student loan. Colleges got quite enthusiastic and started boosting the price of their tuition fees as soon as they heard this, which is also one of the reasons tuition costs are so high, and getting a college degree is now much more expensive. The government's target for inflation is 2 to 3% per year, but the inflation rate for tuition is much more than that. Therefore, if colleges anticipate more free loan givebacks in the future, they may include them in their tuition costs, which may give them an additional incentive to pay off their debt. Since the government will now lend whatever amount of money that universities charge, universities would think they might as well charge this amount because the government will eventually pay it back. As this is essentially free money for universities, you should be aware of the actual cost of such initiatives because this might result in the opposite of what they intended to achieve, even when motivated by the best intentions. Therefore, the significance of having an in-depth understanding of personal finance cannot be stressed in this context, particularly in light of the present predicament of outstanding student loan debts. You can quit thinking about what the government ought to do if you learn how to take control of your finances and become independent from its support. This will allow you to concentrate on taking care of your own well-being. Hi, it looks like you've reached the end of this video. Thank you for watching this far. Please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out when we upload our videos. If you want more, you're always free to visit our channel. This is Finance Sense, helping you keep up with all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. Stay safe and look out for the next video.